and you should go see it. And certainly try and grab one if it makes sense for you. So where do you get your ideas from primarily? You said that you're a fan of heavy metal, and so we can see in a lot of your work that edgy kind of stuff, and fantasy. But what motivates you or inspires you primarily?
Well, I saw this question on your thing, and I'm like, I have no idea. It's just like I said, sometimes I can just be in ZBrush staring at the screen, not knowing what to make, and something just pops out. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm like, well, just make something that attaches to, whatever. Or sometimes I see something on TV, like on a movie, I'm like, oh, that looks cool, and I would just make it. Right now, actually, honestly, I had a little bit of I was so drained from Fantasy Fair, I couldn't come up with like anything anymore. Even, so I send out a notice in my group for people to make suggestions, and if their suggestion is going to be made, they're going to get that item for free, and they get an extra gift card. And there's actually some really neat suggestions. It's like, it blew me away. So I'm going to try and make all of them. I actually got like over 40 suggestion note cards. So,
oh my God.
So it's probably going to take a while for me to make them all, so hope they're patient.
Yeah, but it's a great way to go about things, because there's nobody better to know what, people want than users. I think that especially people who are in role play, and they get, and I know this from my personal experience, is that when you're interested in a genre, let's say it's vampires or whatever it is, and you're trying to role play within that, and you always find these items that you just wish, God, if I only had this kind of perfect coffin that blah blah blah, or this kind of like secret door that da da da, or a shelf that's full of potions, or something, and
yeah, exactly.
That's a perfect opportunity that you've given your fans to be able to say, what do you need?
Yeah, and I also just decided to start making like furniture and stuff, because I make digital artworks, and I always, when I made one piece of furniture for the first time, and it's kind of, you can tell that it's kind of my art put into second life, because I just enjoy making art, but with accessories you can't really do that. So I'm gonna start making, like lamps and furniture to sit on with poses and all that stuff. And I'm actually going to give the first furniture piece I ever made is going to be given away here, only for the guests. So.
Yes, that is one of the gifts that you guys are getting, and it's really very cool. You are going to be receiving her first ever venture into furniture, and it's a really cool set, and I believe it's transfer also, so you don't have to worry about if you're picking it up on this avatar and you really want it on your RP avatar, you can cut it over, and so it's a great little item, really fun, and we're excited to pass that out to you later on. Just a reminder, if you have any questions for Jamie, you need to go ahead and pass those to Luke, and once he receives those in IM, he'll start feeding those to me, and we can start calling on you to take your questions for Jamie in just a little bit. Also, if you've just come back from an AFK and you didn't hear me at the beginning, keep your ears and eyes open for when we open up that subscriber, because this is really the only fair way that we can do things, is to make sure that you guys click that subscriber, letting us know that you're here, and then we're going to close it off. So just keep your eyes open, because if the show is over and you were snoozing and you didn't get to click it, you're out of luck. So moving on, very excited. Oh, actually, well, before we move on, you're venturing into furniture, and it's really funny, because until you said that to me, like, oh, I'm going to be giving out this, first item in furniture, it didn't even occur to me that you weren't into furniture, because I just think to myself, you have everything, but yeah, I guess furniture is the one area that you haven't ventured into lately. So you're excited about that, and do you have any particular thing that you're going to be working on first?
I did one skybox, and I really sucked back then. It's really old. People still buy it for some reason. I don't know why. It's prints, and it's like a 200 print little skybox, but it looks so cool. It's kind of a Tim Burton-esque kind of skybox, and I always liked Tim Burton and his art. So I was hoping to recreate this in mesh and make it like hopefully 10 times as awesome. So that's going to be my first thing.
We have that to look forward to. So let's talk about your gacha for a little bit. Now, obviously, gacha's gotten to be pretty crazy in the last year or so. And so a lot of creators that didn't really venture into making gachas before have decided to do them. I personally think they're really fun. They're a fun way to shop, and I have tried to make a few myself. Some went well, some not so well, but I actually found, as on the side of the creator side, they're also really fun to make and to conceive. And do you enjoy creating gachas, and when did you decide to make your first, and what was it?
Well, I had no clue what a gacha was. So last year I joined in the, what's it called again? The Horror Fest, and they needed you to have a gacha. I'm like, what the hell is a gacha?
Oh, yeah.
So I decided to make this weird heads, creepy looking gacha with, it's called, I don't even know what it's called.
Oh my god.
It has all these crazy heads.
Yes, we love it. You can see, everybody, I'm sure everyone here knows what you're talking about. It's because it was a standout at Horror Fest. And you can see all of Jamie's gachas actually on the screens to the left and right of the stage. Blind Carnage. Hey, Steve-O. Yeah. And that rare that you made, I mean, the guys loved it. There was a great guy gacha, which well,
I actually wore it myself. It was just pretty cool for guys and girls, so I don't know.
It was. So in gacha, it's often hard for guys to find ones to play that they really like. So yeah, it was unisex, absolutely. But I know a lot of the guys were really into it, because at that time, as gacha keeps growing and developing, and more people are getting involved with it. At that time, it wasn't easy to find something that the guys actually wanted to wear or use. So that was awesome. And that. So did you kind of get the bug after that, or did you like it? You enjoyed it, and you went on to make...
I really enjoyed it, but I made all these different heads, and I saw other people's items, and there were a lot of people did like an item and then they recolor it. So I thought that was actually the point of it for a long time, and then I figured out I don't think it's as much fun for people to get a gacha where you just have recolors. And then I saw some of the gacha arcade gachas, and they had all these different items in it, so I kind of started doing that, making all different items instead of just have one thing, so they can actually get a whole collection. And that's what I did with the zombie gacha, and it was really successful because they all wanted the complete set, and with the elves too, it's like, I want them all.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That is definitely the best. That's the best formula for a gacha, is to have, and actually that is something. I think it was Balaclava that told us this, that in Japan, that's really more of what a gacha actually is. It's not a bunch of different color items. It's a machine that has all different things, but they're all in a theme. And I think that, you know, to talk about that zombie one, it hit at a great time. I can't remember, but I think that everybody was really anxious for Walking Dead to start, or it had just started or something, but the timing on that was so good because everyone kind of had Walking Dead fever. And I also want to say that I was kind of grinning ear to ear when I saw it, because the arcade never saw anything so hardcore. And I was kind of like loving the fact that one of your machines was there that was really catering to those of us that don't mind a little, you know, a little something here.
At the Gacha arcade, it's really cool stuff, but it's all kind of more, you know, fluffy, or, you know. It's cute.
It's mainstream and love it. G-rated for the most part, and I don't think the rating even on Jamie's was that, you know, it was just that it was edgy, and it appealed to a completely different audience. And also kind of fed the audience that was there already. So I'm not surprised it was a huge hit, and it was.
I actually, I don't know if you actually noticed, but I did a poll on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
For people to vote before the Gacha arcade, because I did this poll, like, what do you want to see on the next Gacha arcade? Is it cyber stuff? Is it the horror stuff? Is it zombie apocalypse? And everybody basically voted for zombie apocalypse. So I'm like, okay, well, that's that's obvious. So I just decided to go for it.
It's huge. I mean, it's a big deal. I think that show, being such a great show and so popular, obviously fueled a lot of the zombie, you know, fan, you know, stuff. But I wouldn't mind seeing another zombie machine out of you at all. But I do love the one that you made was so perfect, because you gave us the gear, you gave us the weapons, you know, you gave us everything to survive, and we loved it. And the arcade never saw anything like it.
Yeah, I know.
I put in my blog post, actually, I think that, you know, because I was just loving it. I just thought it was great.
And I actually, I live streamed the creating process of it for like maybe 8 hours or longer. Because I was like in the middle of creating it all, and I think a lot of people saw it because I had a ton of viewers back. And people were just telling me, oh, add this, oh, add that. And it was kind of fun because you could chat on the join me screen. And it was really nice because sometimes I was like, oh shit, what am I going to add? So people would just, you know, put ideas on me. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll add this. And people were just having, so when I'm live streaming, I usually post it on Facebook for people that don't know me. So in case you ever want to see it.
It's on there? All right, awesome. All right, well, let's take a question from the audience. We've got a couple questions here, so see what we've got. Our first question is from Reddy. Reddy, welcome to the Gacha Show. What's your question? Hi.
That's my pleasure. That has been asked so many times now that it's kind of getting on my nerves. So I'll probably, maybe this Halloween, I might do the zombie princesses and princess, because I want to keep it. Lately, I want to keep it as much unisex as I can, because I've gotten so many, like, oh, the guys, and I'm sorry, guys. So I'm trying to do as much unisex stuff as I can. So if there's going to be zombie princesses, there's going to be matching zombie princess.
Yes. All right. All right. Thank you. Ready? Let's see. Who's next? Hold on while I have to type.
It's so hard.
I'm all over the place. Hold on.
Of course. Saw that one coming.
All right, our next question is from Shari. Shari, welcome to the Gacha Show. What's your question?
Oh boy. Oh my god. Well, I'm missing it right now, so I don't know. I did watch the two first half finals, and I kind of like this one dude. I don't even know where he's from. It's a slow song, so I don't know which one it was, but yeah. If I find it, I will send it to you, because I actually watch it each year. We make like a whole party and blah blah, so I'm going to the after party later after this.
All right, thank you, Shari. If you have any other questions, please, if you have questions, just IM them over to Luke. Let's get on with our next one. I'm so bad at the, trying to type this out. Our next question is from Caliph the Carney. Welcome to the Gacha Show. What's your question? Honk honk.
Oh my god, sculpting. No, I still really hate it so much. You have no idea. Sculpties are a pain in my ass. I still have to create sculpties. Like, each dwarfen has like 4 or 5 sculpties attached to them because of the script. So every time I make dwarfins, I have to create all these sculpties, and I so can't stand them because they're such a pain to make. Because I don't know, I only know how to use ZBrush best, and I mean, it's doable, but it's such a pain in the ass. Oh my god. I don't really, that's the only thing that I don't like creating is sculpties, but once they're done and the result's there, it's kind of like, okay, well,
All right, thank you. Thanks for your question. Our next question, well, before we get to our next question, we've opened up the subscribers. Everybody, please click the subscriber. This is how you're going to receive your gift at the end. We're going to leave it open for a little while so that everybody that's here is able to click it. It's on the left and the right-hand side of the stage. Just go ahead and give that a slap, and that's going to mark you guys for your giveaway. So our next question is from Vita. Vita, welcome to the Gacha Show. What is your question?
Ah. That's a good question.
I'd like to know
Oh
that
my
myself.
god. I worked so long on those, you have no idea. And I was going crazy and insane rigging these. So they're unfortunately, I tried for like 6 hours, but unfortunately, I cannot get them to make a size larger. So they're only going to be like in 2 sizes. I hope that's not a huge problem for people, but I'll be sending a demo. There's going to be a demo. I'm going to be selling these I'm sponsoring the Dark Style Fair that's going to start in, I think, half May somewhere. I'll have to check myself because I have no clue when it opens. But they will be available there.
All right.
And there will also be other booths available there. Those are going to be unisex boots. It starts on, it starts on the 17th of May.
All right, great. I know I'm there. All right, thank you, Vita. Thanks for your question. Our next question is from Kimmy Benefong. Hello, Kimmy. Welcome to the Gacha Show. What is your question?
That's a long question. How did you get that in for your name of the store? Wow, that's a long story. It's actually really stupid. I wanted to have a store that has kind of a theme, and I couldn't come up with anything. And I wanted to do something so I could shorten it, like DRD, easy to spell, and I could make like a logo that has two of the same letters. So I just went to like an online, some kind of gangster, whatever, those, what are they called again? When you want a fantasy name or this name or that name. So I just went on there, and it was something Death Row, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, Death Row design's cool. I can do like a prison team, and it's kind of darkish, and yeah. So that's how that happened.
All right, Kimmy, thank you. Good question. Of all of the machines that you've made so far, Jamie, what's your favorite?
Okay, my favorite gacha machine I ever did is the elves. It has to be the elves, the Christmas elves. I just love them. They're so ridiculously funny and stupid, but I just love them all.
It was a really fun machine, and it was such a surprise to get them and to hear whatever it is that they had to say. And some of them were just so rude. It was hysterical.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off because it's me on the recording, so I was sitting here all day recording myself and then, pitching up the pitch, and I was just laughing the whole time I had to record something. I just peed myself each time I was saying something, like, oh my god, I can't do this is too much. It was just, yeah, it was crazy. And I was so tired. It was like 4 a.m. at night because it was very limited timing, and I had to do it all, and I was so tired. And when you're tired, something that's funny gets 20 times as funny, and when you're laughing at yourself, it's even more ridiculous. So it's like, I'm insane. I have to be insane.
I think also, I remember when it came out, I had to always put in like a little warning when I was talking about it or telling people, that it was out there and to go get it, that it wasn't your ordinary plushie. Like, don't go there thinking you're getting like some, cute little elf
Exactly.
model, because It does things and says things.
I saw all these, there were a lot of people making plushies, and you would just hold them and it's like, okay, I'm holding a plushie. So it was kind of like, okay, this is boring. You wear them like once and then it's like, okay, whatever, I've had enough of this. So I just wanted to do, I wanted to do something different. So I decided to make them have little voices.
It's great. It was a great one. So with your venture into gacha, what do you think of the collector culture that's built up around it? Obviously, Gachatopia is built, completely on that collector's culture, and it's really blown into something more than I think or I even thought would happen. And how do you feel about these machines kind of away being the new way to shop?
Well, and I think in the beginning people would get more out of it because it was more rare back in the day when it wasn't as blown up as it is now. So like I said earlier, I'm trying to do as many gachas as I can that has different items, so even the commons actually are worth a little bit more, because I still see people asking for the antivirus strap from the zombie gacha, and it's not a rare. So it's like I want to try and do that as much as I can for the people to actually get something out of it too, because that's the whole point of a gacha, so they can, resell or gift it or, whatever. So I think it's actually a pretty cool idea, whoever came up with it. It's a neat kind of system.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So, would you say that what has been your most popular machine so far?
Well, it's actually pretty much a tie, kinda, with the elves and the zombie gacha. And it's kind of weird because the elves gacha were not at an event or a popular event. They were just at the Death Row Design Sim. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of tells that it doesn't really matter where your gacha is. It matters more what's inside them and if they want it or,
Well, if I may raise my hand a little bit here, we made a huge stink of it. We made a huge stink of it in the Gachatopia group because they're just great. And what happens generally is that we actually have somebody that reports cool machines that are around the grid that are not at events, that they're just at stores or whatever. Because what happens is that once people hear about a cool machine, you're absolutely right, it doesn't matter if it's at an event or not. If it gets heard about and it has something that people want in it, it's going to get played. And that's what tends to happen. Also, it gets a little bit viral in our group anyway, when one person starts going out there and grabbing it and trading it and talking about it, and then it just kind of snowballs. Exactly. We have another question actually from, let's see. We have another question from Shari. Shari, welcome to the Gacha Show.
Shari again? Oh my god. She's crazy. That's a good question. Actually, I prefer DRD when it comes to, making up just random stuff, but I also really enjoy Dwarfins because I love dwarves and Lord of the Rings and, all that. And it's a whole different kind of style, and I just love making the buildings and kind of the niche items for the Dwarfins because it's just really cool to do. But, DRD is more artsy-fartsy or whatever. And actually building that Ministerial thing was even, I actually preferred that one the most maybe, because that was not DRD, it was not Dwarfins, it was just something I did for, as a dedication, and I just love doing that because I never made anything big like that. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna build Ministerial now. It was like, okay.
It was, that's amazing. Everybody's going to go visit that after. Thank you again, Shari, for the question. We actually have another repeat question. We don't normally take repeat questions, but these are so good. Caliph, welcome again to the Gacha Show. What is your question? Caliph the Carney.
Oh boy. It's not about my vajayjay or anything.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Jamie, you mentioned you were a fan of heavy metal, being a heavy metal. Oh, it's my favorite metal band of all time. Oh my god, that's really hard. Well, I have seen Iron Maiden like 11 times live, so maybe that's my favorite. but it's more like a standard metal thing, but I'm a fan of power metal, and I like Rhapsody of Fire and Old Sabotage, Halloween, Sonata Arctica, and all that power metal stuff. Hammerfall, the high voices, the gay voices, or whatever they say in metal world. Well, it's always been looked at, when you're power metal, it's, whatever, it's stupid, but I love it. So I also like death metal and black metal, but I like Dimmu Borgir, and I am a huge fan of Behemoth. So I know Dragon Force. I've seen them live 2 times. I actually go to a lot of concerts and festivals. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about Dwarfins a little bit. Thank you, Caliph, for your question. I'd like to talk about Dwarfins a little bit. When did you first conceive the idea to start Dwarfins, and did you have an overall master plan, or did it just kind of start with creating one little guy and he kind of multiplied? Or
actually, that's a very strange story behind that. The Dwarfins, the idea actually came from Judy and Dan, my other work partners, the other owners. We owned the company with 3 people. And before they launched, like a week or 2 before they launched, they actually found me. And they needed a texture artist, just a texture artist. So I kind of applied. I didn't know it was going to be Dwarfins or anything like that, and it actually wound up in her as a spam folder, the email that I sent her. So 2 weeks before launch, they're like, okay, so, because we had another designer in the beginning that actually designed the initial dwarfs, because if I had designed them, they would probably look different right now. And so they have all these empty dwarfs. Yeah, they have all these different empty dwarfs, and I had to texture them.
The elf, and I thought to myself, between the Dwarfins and the elves, it's kind of like not. I would have expected a different interpretation from you. Yeah. So you're saying that the Dwarfins' faces are not really what you would have originally designed?
No, I would have made them more like the Lord of the Rings Gimli dwarf, like a big nose and more scruffy looking probably. But, they had them done by another artist, but she quit the Dwarfins. And so I had to learn mesh and everything after that as well, because we used to be with 2 creators, and now I'm the only one creating everything for like sculpts, mesh, textures, ads, buildings, items, the whole everything. So it's a little crazy sometimes, but it's really fun.
And does Dwarfins take up most of your building time or most of your creative time, or does that pretty much take care of itself now, or?
have a calendar on my platform right now, and it has DRD on it until that day, and then it's like Dwarfins for a week, and I kind of schedule it out a little bit. I didn't used to do that. I'm still kind of disorganized, but I was really disorganized in the beginning, and I kind of learned how to schedule everything a little bit better-ish. So it's 50-50, basically.
Well, you do it all. I mean, sometimes I'm just absolutely shocked at your production level and the things that you put out. One more reminder for everybody to please hit the subscriber now. As I said before, when we take those in afterwards, if you come to us at the end of the show and you're like, I missed the subscriber, you're not getting anything. So please click the subscriber and make sure that you're in there. This is the time to do it. And we will be taking that up shortly. So hit it. Well, the Dwarfins looking a little bit more like Lord of the Rings to me was kind of, it's just so, I'm kind of stuck on this right now because I really thought that when I first saw them, I thought that I kind of feel like I know where you come from with your visions and stuff like that, or what you want things to look like, and I would have expected you to do them a little bit differently. So, do you?
Yeah, well, I textured them, so.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, dang old internet, man.
Do you?
Oh my God.
Do you think that there's going to be a rework of Dwarfins' faces anytime in the future?
Yes, I'm actually working on it right now, but it won't be on the Birth Rock Dwarfins. It will only be on the avatars, because the Birth Rock Dwarfins, the ones that are out there, the game that you actually play, they cannot be changed unless we redo them all. And that's a lot of dwarfs. But I am working on new faces for the mesh, because we also have rigged mesh avatars for role players if they are in a fantasy world and they role play. We actually have some vendors out at some roleplay sims where you can roleplay as dwarf, and you can get a free rigged dwarf avatar on that roleplay sim from us. So that's pretty neat.
I'm actually not. I don't know how many Dwarfins fans there are in the audience. I don't know too much about them. They're primarily. I thought that they were breedable. Is this like a breedable elf that you can?
Yeah, we don't like the term breedable because breeding dwarfs sounds really creepy and icky. They actually carve rocks, and they are made out of stone, and then they come to life.
Okay.
So that's actually how it works, and then you can, quote unquote, breed them, but they actually do a lot of stuff. They create your own food. You have a little mesh garden. You can buy seeds for your garden, and you can make like strawberries, potatoes, and whatever, and you can harvest them and give your dwarfins strawberries, or you can send it to your online recipe maker, so you can make like a strawberry cake if you have sugar and all the other ingredients. And we also have a fishing pond where you can fish for fish and do the exact same thing. You can buy a little what's it called? Minion, little fishies. You can buy little bags of those. Yeah, minnows and minions. You can buy little bags of those, and then the dwarfins actually interact with the garden or the fish pond, and you can see the actual dwarfin kind of fishing and stuff. They have a bunch of interactive items. They have like an interactive keg. They take a beer tankard and they drink it, and they fall over drunk when they go up to it. It's all kinds of neat stuff, and you have achievements, and it's a pretty fun game to play.
So you can do all of that on the sim that you just built? Is that, or do you have to have that stuff on your own land, or can you do that all?
You have to have your own land, because it's, you have those little dwarfins. You can build your own little village, because we actually have buildings too, and they are built in, when you get a building, it's built over a time period of 3 days, so you can actually see the building in stages, like in some games. You can see it being built up. Yeah, it's really neat. So each building that I built in Mesh is built like 4 times. One stage, next stage, the other stage, and then the full building. So you can see them hack and saw and all that stuff because they interact with the items.
That's really cool. We need to look at that more closely. All right, so we're going to be picking up those subscribers now. If you have not hit it, it looks like from what we can tell, there's about 8 people out there who have not hit the board. If you've come here and parked and fallen asleep or gone AFK or gone out to do your groceries thinking that you're going to get handed something, you're wrong, so click it. And also a reminder, stay in your seats after the show. We have to manually hand you out the incredible 200 Linden gift card that is coming your way from Jamie. And that's something that we need to pass out to you manually. So when the show is over, just hold on in your seats and those will get dropped on you. It's really amazing. I went to the Dwarfen Sim when you opened it. And looked around. Another really great build, and I think it's a really cool venture. And I just wanted to address also what Luke was saying in local about Tyron. He's not a dwarf. He is a little
He's a
person.
Yeah, person.
Like, that's not really appropriate to make a dwarf out of. That's not cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Actually, when you mentioned the sim, I have to kind of address it. The first sim was a cave, and we have a Dwarfen's backstory. There's a whole history, a whole fantasy story that you can read on the Dwarfen's website. They have the story that they were in a cave and then they kind of came out of the cave. So the cave was first, the story was a cave, then it was a half cave with kind of a city built into it and the outside half. And right now there's a whole city with a big dwarfen castle and everything. And there's a whole backstory with it, and you can find that on the website. It's, I'll write it in local.
Thank you.
So you can visit that, and it's a cool story actually. If you're ever interested, I think they're really neat. I'm not really into breedables, but I just like these because they're not. I'm not a fan of fluffy stuff. So
I think that anybody that really kind of likes to have a little grind when they come into SL, I know when I did breedables for a short period of time, that's really what it was about. It was just about coming in and having some tasks to do to kind of get you warmed up for playing some SL, and it sounds like a really fun thing to have going on. I think the subscribers are up. They're gone. They're poofed. Okay. So tell me about what you have coming up. You're in the Dark Fair, you said? That's coming up for you, or?
Yeah, I have the Dark Style Fair coming up. I'm also going to be in the Big Show next month. I'm going to be in the Secret Affair. The Big Show. Yeah, that's the Big Show now. I don't know. So, but for the Dark Style Fair, I'm doing 2 pairs of boots. And for the Secret Affair, I don't really know what I'm doing. I have no clue. Probably a gacha with some stuff in it. Because I have no clue what to do. And for the Big Show, I don't know either. And I'm also going to be in Suicide Dolls. Nice. I don't really know how I'm going to do it all, but yeah. We'll figure it out.
Well, the Secret Affair, I'm counting on you because the theme, as I was told, it's kind of vague. I don't know that they had a name for it yet, but it's really hot. It's kind of like gowns and metal breastplates.
Yeah, it's. I don't. Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. And big hair. I don't know.
The theme was actually the next theme was actually something from a video. I don't remember which video, a music video, and that was supposed to be our inspiration, but I wasn't really inspired by it. But we'll see what I come up with. I mean, it's probably going to be something cuckoo. DRD is always.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be great. All right, we actually are getting close to the end here because we did start a little bit early. Let me go ahead and take this moment to announce who is going to be here next week. Not next week. On the 24th. Our next guest for the Gacha Show. I'm like grinning ear to ear. So excited. 8F8 is going to be here. Really, literally a super cool guy. And he's got a great body of work also. Just really cool stuff. So we do hope that you guys will stop in on the 24th again. I didn't say he had a great body. I said he had a great body of work. But
he's awesome. He was actually in my bloggers group. I think he still is in my bloggers group, and he does these amazing pictures. I'm like, what the hell? How does he do this?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
He's good, and so he'll be here, and we get to talk about his gacha and inspiration and everything, and yeah, you can certainly check out his shop and also his Flickr, but do take a good long look through Jamie's Flickr if you get a chance. She's very good at communicating with everybody. You know, the different points of process and things like that, and it's really interesting to see what goes on behind the scenes.
The big secret about that is I don't have a manager. I think it's always better to just not have a manager for a store. I don't know why. It's just personal. That's my personal opinion. I like to be involved with the people. It's because of I owe so much to my customers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my customers. So I just want to do the best as I can with them personal.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that in Second Life, having these degrees of separation from your customers is never a good thing. People they're fans of your work, and listen, it's a virtual space. It's not like you can get seriously harassed. Unlike Adam Sandler, who was walking through Universal Studios when I was on vacation a few weeks ago, and he was. Oh my god! Oh my god! He was walking through with his family, and I felt so bad because I'm like, I get that you're a fan of somebody, but know when to just leave someone alone. Let him have his time with his kid. So anyway, you're in a virtual space, and we can harass you to a certain extent, but you've got to meet them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't really mind. I always answer people if there's something, or I try to answer as much as I can. Sometimes I am at AFK and I don't see it. I'm like, oh, should I missed it? But I try to do as much customer service as I can, as I possibly can.
I think the sheer size of your following is a testament to the great job that you've done with your customers and also with your products. And we've had a great time with you today, and I learned so much, particularly about Dwarfins. It sounds like a very fun thing to go check out. And everybody do go and check out Death Row Designs. You will get lost there if you haven't been, though I'm suspecting that so many of you in here are already fans. I know there's a lot of Gachatopians in here as well, but do go and check out her sim and join up in her groups, and you'll get to learn more about when things are happening and where she's at, and check her out in her upcoming events: Secret Affair, Big Show, and the Dark
Suicide Dolls, the Dark Style Fair, and Suicide Dolls. That's going to be happening.
All right, very cool. All right, guys, it was a great show. You guys were a great audience. Thank you for coming. Join us on the 24th for 8F8. And that's it. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you. Don't forget the gift cards, people.
Yes, stay in your seats. Everyone, your gift cards are going to be dropped on you shortly.